A woman quickly gained attention for stating that she needs a man with an annual income of at least $500,000 because her living expenses are $20,000 a month. Another woman posted that splitting bills is economic abuse. In fact, someone is teaching how to get men to pay your rent without dating. Expectations have become so crazy that even successful men are leaving, saying, "This is not possible." Let me tell you about some of the actual expectations women have of men today, and why millions of men choose to stay single rather than participate in this unfair game. The marriage deal has become a guaranteed loss for most men. You think you are building a life together, but in reality, you are signing a contract that allows her to take half of everything you have built, plus monthly payments, plus children, plus the house, if things go wrong. And statistics show that the chances of things going wrong are over 50%. Even if you are the loyal one, what will you do when she files for divorce? You can't handle your own company alone. If you need constant validation, if you need others to make you feel whole, you're not ready for a relationship. You're looking for a therapist. Men are realizing that solitary calm always beats chaos. The sense of entitlement in modern dating has reached ridiculous levels. Some women really expect men to reimburse them for their prep costs before a date. Hair, nails, makeup, outfits. They want to receive an invoice before showing up. I saw a woman calculating her prep costs at $500 and requesting payment via Venmo before the first date. The man refused. She posted about it like a victim. People think dating has turned into economic exploitation with extra steps. Some women openly admit they date just for free meals. They have a rotation of men. On Monday, Mike pays for sushi. On Wednesday, William pays for steak. On Friday, Frank is responsible for the nightclub. They are not interested in these men. They are interested in their wallets and flaunt it on social media as if it's empowerment rather than manipulation. Social media has created standards of absolute delusion. Almost every video features someone saying they deserve to be millionaires. They are manifesting a billionaire. They won't settle for an income below 6 figures. But when you ask them what they can bring to the table aside from demands, there's only silence. Or worse, I am the table. No, you are just someone with expectations that exceed your contributions. The delusion of manifestation is particularly toxic. Some women genuinely believe they can think their way into the life of a wealthy man. They make vision boards filled with pictures of yachts and private jets. They practice an abundance mindset while working part-time at Target. They reject good men with stable careers because TikTok tells them their divine masculine millionaire is on the way. Spoiler alert, he doesn't exist. In modern dating, the refusal to take responsibility is everywhere. When relationships fail, it's never their fault. When they are single at 40, it's because men feel scared. When they have 3 children, each with a different father, they are brave single mothers. The ability to say in front of the mirror, "Maybe I have a problem," completely disappears. I have a client whose ex posted all their relationship issues on social media seeking sympathy. He told everyone he economically abused her because he wanted to set a budget. She said he controlled her for making her share the bills. When court documents were made public showing she hadn't worked for 5 years and spent $8,000 a month on shopping, her posts suddenly disappeared. But the damage to his reputation was already done. Materialism has become the dominant feature of modern dating. It's no longer about connection, compatibility, or character, but about who can provide the lifestyle they see on Instagram. Designer bags are more important than shared values. Expensive dinners. Things more important than deep conversations. The car you drive is more important than who you are. Some women even use spreadsheets to rank men based on income. They date multiple men at the same time. This is not for emotional connection, but for financial optimization. John pays for dinner. James is responsible for shopping. Jeremy handles the rent. This is not polygamy, but portfolio management. They have no objections to this because men have been doing it for centuries. It's just that men do not expect women to fund their entire lives. The illusion created by dating apps has distorted reality to an unrecognizable degree. An average woman receives hundreds of matches and thousands of likes. This creates a false inflation of self-worth. Suddenly, she believes she is a celebrity deserving of celebrity treatment. She attracts men far beyond her level who only want quick dates, but she interprets it as her actual market value. Some women genuinely expect millionaires. The lifestyle, however, does not understand what true wealth looks like. They believe that every successful person has unlimited money to shop. They do not realize that the millionaire next door drives a Toyota and lives a frugal life. What they want is a fantasy version of wealth on Instagram, rather than the reality of how wealth is actually built and maintained. Manipulation through roster and economic exploitation is taught as a strategy. In reality, there are courses that teach people how to maintain multiple men to meet different economic needs. How to have one person pay the rent, another pay the car loan, and another for shopping. They call it upgrading or securing income. Can't one work hard, have their own career, and build something for themselves? I watched a video where a woman was teaching others how to emotionally manipulate men to pay the bills without involving any romantic relationships. She called it clever handling. She had scripts, psychological tactics, and specific phrases. Usage. Thousands of women take notes in the comments. This is not dating. This is fraud with extra steps. The escalating conflicts and gender discussions make solutions impossible. Trying to have a rational conversation about dating expectations quickly turns into an emotional war. Facts are labeled as misogyny. Statistics are seen as bias. Personal experiences are denied. No one is willing to understand, only interested in winning. The real consequences of workplace changes manifest in dating. Companies promote for diversity metrics, which is fine, but those women then complain about not having enough men earning more than them. You can't demand economic equality and then also expect a man to earn significantly more than you. This math doesn't add up. If women's incomes are higher, by definition, there will be fewer men earning more than them. Men are exiting dating at an unprecedented rate. They are conducting cost-benefit analyses, choosing PlayStation over potential bankruptcy. They choose peace over endless conflict. They choose freedom over economic enslavement. Honestly, they seem happier because of it. The humor and irony that emerge from this situation are brutal but accurate. Men are making videos showcasing the absurdity of modern expectations. One person calculated that meeting some women's dating requirements would require being in the top 0.01% of income, while also having the free time of an unemployed person. Another person demonstrated that some women's physical requirements would exclude 99.2% of the male population before considering personality. Men are starting to push back openly. They refuse to pay for expensive first dates with strangers. They demand a 50-50 split. They are moving away from high-maintenance situations. The phrase, "I'm good," has become a mantra for men. Not out of anger, not out of bitterness, just an end. Some women have misjudged their leverage. Complete. They believe that men will always pursue, always provide, and always compete for their attention. Then they reach 35, and the attention disappears, and suddenly they start making videos about, where have all the good men gone? Good men are dating women who don't treat them like an ATM. The overall state of modern Western dating culture has broken beyond repair. Traditional values of relationships, loyalty, mutual support, and building together have been replaced by extraction, exploitation, and unrealistic expectations. The social contract between men and women has been torn apart, and it seems no one is willing to negotiate a new contract. Let me share some specific examples of these crazy expectations. One woman posted her non-negotiable dating conditions: a minimum height of 6 feet 2 inches, a minimum annual salary of $250,000, ownership of multiple properties, paying for everything, accepting her 2 children from previous relationships, and not expecting any physical contact until she is willing. Ready. She is 34 years old, unemployed, and living with her parents. This delusion is breathtaking. Another viral post, where a woman explains why her boyfriend needs to pay her $5,000 a month for emotional labor, not for bills, not for shared expenses, but to maintain the work of a relationship. She listed the details. Listening to him talk, $500. Replying to texts, $300. Providing support, $1,000. She turned the role of a girlfriend into a consulting invoice. More and more dating coaches are teaching women to extract the maximum resources with the minimum investment. One course literally teaches how to make men pay for plastic surgery, making them feel like it was their idea. Another teaches how to get multiple engagement rings from different men without technically being fraudulent. This is not dating advice. This is scam training. The expectations around lifestyle maintenance are simply insane. Some women calculate their monthly expenses, including hair, nails, eyelashes, and facials, the gym, clothes, and the expectation that men should cover everything. One woman said she needs $15,000 a month just for maintenance. That's $180,000 a year for beauty treatments. This is more than most people's entire salary, and she sees it as a basic requirement for dating. The expectation of just housing would bankrupt most men. Some women expect their boyfriends to maintain their apartments while also supporting their own residence because men should provide housing. So, he has to pay 2 rents, 2 utility bills, and what is her contribution? Her presence. This is not a relationship. This is sponsorship. The expectation of gifts has lost all connection to reality. Valentine's Day now clearly requires at least a 4-figure expenditure. Birthdays need to be experiences costing thousands. Random Tuesdays, just because gifts are expected. One woman dumped her boyfriend because the push gift for having a baby was just a $2,000 necklace. What she expected was a car. The demands for travel are about the experience and the status it conveys. Some women have developed a sense of entitlement, expecting lavish treatment and extravagant outings. The pressure to maintain a certain lifestyle, often showcased on social media, has skewed their perceptions of what is normal or acceptable in dating. The emphasis is less on genuine connection and more on the outward display of wealth and luxury. Regarding price tags, this concerns what they can post on social media. Here lies a cruel irony. Many women who complain about men failing to meet their financial expectations are themselves deeply in debt. Their net worth is negative, credit card limits are maxed out, there are no savings, yet they expect men to be millionaires. They cannot manage their own finances, but demand financial success from others. The expectations in terms of timing are equally unrealistic. Some women want immediate commitment, but also want to date around. They want to monopolize your resources while keeping their options open. They desire the privileges of a wife, but only put in the effort of a girlfriend or less. They want the investment of a husband, but are only willing to invest the energy of a relationship status. Communication expectations are exhausting. Constant texting, immediate replies, good morning and good night messages, checking in every hour, but they don't want to seem needy. Be always available, but never dependent. Share everything, but keep your distance. Mystery. Be emotionally open, but not weak. Contradictions are endless. The performance expectations of social media are a nightmare in itself. Every moment needs to be documented. Every date needs to be worth sharing on Instagram. You're not just dating her, you're performing for her audience. If it's not posted, it didn't happen. If it's not impressive enough to make her friends jealous, it's not worth doing. Some women want men to fully integrate into their lives while not making an effort to integrate into his. Meet all her friends, attend all her events, support all her interests. But his friends, they are a bad influence. His hobbies, a waste of time, his family. Maybe we'll meet them during the holidays. The argument of emotional labor has been weaponized to the point of being unrecognizable. Now everything is emotional labor. Listening is labor. Responding is labor. Existing in the same space is labor. But for some reason, men's actual labor, working, providing, protecting, repairing, building, this doesn't count. Only women's emotional labor has value. Expectations regarding men's appearance become hypocritical. He needs to stay healthy, but going to the gym too much is toxic. He needs to dress appropriately, but caring about appearance is feminine. He needs to groom himself, but spending time on grooming is vain. He should naturally look perfect, while they spend hours on hair and makeup. The expectation of financial transparency is just a one-sided demand. She wants to fully understand his financial situation, credit score, portfolio, and business dealings. But if asked about her debts, spending, and financial plans, that's a private matter. You don't trust me. The double standards are shocking. Some women want men to be traditional when it benefits them, but modern when it doesn't. Pay for everything like in the 1950s, but don't expect to cook or clean. Be a protector and provider, but don't have any authority. Take on all the responsibilities, but have no rights. Traditional expectations and modern exemptions. The expectation of baby traps is increasingly being exposed. Some women strategically get pregnant to lock in resources. They lie about using contraception, sabotage condoms, seize the fertility window, and then act shocked when men request paternity tests. The fact that baby traps are a known strategy tells you everything about modern dating. Some women's fantasies about divorce are unsettling. They have already planned for divorce before the wedding. They know the law is on their side. They know they will get the house, the kids, and alimony. Some even view marriage as a retirement plan, working for 10 years and then cashing out. They openly discuss this issue on certain forums. The expectations of friend groups are toxic. The opinions of her friends matter more than the actual relationship. If her bitter single friends disapprove, you're done for. If her divorced friends think you're not doing enough, you'll hear complaints about it. You're not dating a woman. You're dating her entire social circle, and they all have veto power. The retrospective jealousy and double standards are insane. She can have a past, but your past better be spotless. She can have male friends, but your female friends are a threat. She can chat with her ex, but if you do that, it's emotional cheating. The rules only apply in one direction. Some women expect men to read minds. They won't communicate their needs, but you should just know. They'll be unhappy about certain things, but won't say anything. They'll want something but expect you to guess. Then, when you can't read their minds, you don't care enough. Celebrating the inflation of expectations is exhausting. It's not just birthdays and Valentine's Day anymore. There's a whole series of months. The days we first texted, the day we officially became a couple, the day we first said, "I love you." Every little milestone requires gifts, dinners, and gestures. Just like dating someone with a permanent gift registry. The expectations of therapy are particularly manipulative. Some women expect men to accept their toxic behaviors because they are in therapy, but this behavior never changes. Therapy becomes an excuse rather than a solution. "I'm in therapy" turns into a get-out-of-jail-free card for avoiding responsibility. The expectations of social status reduce men to accessories. He needs to look good in her activities, impress her colleagues, and make her appear successful. His actual happiness, comfort, or desires don't matter. He is a prop in her life performance, not a person with his own needs. Some women expect to immediately integrate family planning without mutual commitment. They want to know the marriage timeline, child plans, and home buying timeline by the third date. But ask them about commitment. Let's see how things develop. They want guaranteed outcomes, but don't want guaranteed investments. The constant testing expectations are exhausting. Everything is a test. How quickly you respond to texts, what gifts you buy, where you take her, how you react to her friends. You are always under judgment, and the verdict is never enough. The goals are not just to move. they can shift in an instant. The expectations of comparison are heartbreaking. You are not competing with other men. You are competing with every romantic movie, every romance novel, every Instagram post she sees. You are compared to fictional characters, curated social media relationships, and her idealized fantasies. Reality can never compete with imagination. Some women expect men to fund their entire lifestyle changes, pay for their degrees, business ideas, fitness journeys, and spiritual awakenings. They want a sponsor, not a partner. They hope for someone to finance their growth while they only provide potential gratitude for the future. The expectations of pets have become another economic burden. It's not just about having pets, but also consider them as human children. Clothes designed for dogs, organic specialty foods, weekly grooming, pet therapy. A lady expects her boyfriend to pay $500 a month for her cat's acupuncture. Cat acupuncture. The expectation of funding hobbies is purely a privilege. Some women expect men to fully fund their hobbies, their photography equipment, their art supplies, their yoga retreats, while calling his hobbies silly or childish. Your money should support her interests, but your interests are a waste of money. Some women expect compensation for opportunity costs. They literally calculate what they could be doing instead of dating you and want to be paid for it. I could have been working on my business, so this date needs to be worth $200 of my time. They turn dating into billable hours. The expectation of plastic surgery is becoming normalized. Some women expect their boyfriends to pay for their beauty procedures, breast augmentations, BBLs, lip fillers, Botox. They frame it as an investment in the relationship because you will benefit from their enhanced appearance. This manipulation is shocking. The expectations of family support exceed her scope. Some women expect men to financially support her entire family, pay her parents' bills, fund her siblings' needs, and cover family emergencies. You are not just dating her. You are taking on the financial responsibility for her entire extended family. Some women have an exit strategy in mind from day one. They are already planning how much they can get when it ends. They study your assets, calculate potential settlements, and plan their exit. They are not building with you. They are building a parachute for themselves. The constant expectation for validation is exhausting. Every outfit needs praise. Every idea needs affirmation. Every feeling needs validation. It's like dating someone's ego rather than the actual person. You become a full-time cheerleader, someone who brings you endless criticism. A loyal double standard is the poison of relationships. She can have alternatives, male followers, and boys in her DMs. But if you slightly like another woman's photo, it triggers a nuclear meltdown. She keeps her options open while demanding that you close yours. Some women expect men to be grateful for basic interpersonal interactions. They act as if their existence is a gift. Their attention is charity. Their time is philanthropy. You should be grateful that they are even willing to match with you, reply to messages, and show up in front of you. The standards are underground, but their expectations are stratospheric. Expectations for future income are particularly unrealistic. Some women date based on how much they think you will earn in the future rather than your current income. They expect you to become wealthy and then feel angry when you don't meet their imagined timeline. They are investing in a non-existent future. The expectations created by the scene turn dating into a performing art. All it needs to be is a moment. Every date needs magic. Every interaction needs to be special. Ordinary life is not enough. Everything needs to be elevated to movie status. Some women expect telepathic emotional support. You should know when they are unhappy, why they are unhappy, and how to solve problems without any communication. Then, when you fail to perform this miracle of mind reading, you are considered emotionally unavailable. The expectation for recognition is exhausting. She wants acknowledgement for everything she does, no matter how basic. Cooked dinner, hero, cleaned something, saint, showed up on time, incredible effort. Meanwhile, everything you do is just expected, basic, the bare minimum. The expectation of narrative control means she writes the history. Every story about your relationship is edited to make her look perfect and you look inadequate. Facts are adjusted. Backgrounds are erased. The entire event is rewritten. You become the villain in the story while you were once the victim. Some women expect. Men should have no boundaries while respecting all of theirs. Your boundaries are controlling. Their boundaries are self-care. You need to accept everything about them, while they can demand you change everything about yourself. The expectation of urgent availability means you are always on call. Her crisis at 3 a.m. requires an immediate response. Her bad day needs instant comfort. Her little troubles demand immediate attention. But when you need support, I am not your therapist. The expectation for improvement is never-ending. You need to constantly self-improve, grow, and evolve. But into what? Whatever they decide you should be this week. It's not about actual improvement, but about a continuous discomfort of adequacy that keeps you striving for recognition that never comes. Some women expect to receive boyfriend benefits from men they aren't even dating. Emotional support, financial help, availability at all times, prioritization, while keeping you at a disadvantage. Friend zone or ambiguous relationship. They want the rewards of a relationship but are unwilling to reciprocate. The expectation of reactions means that every emotion needs to be perfectly calibrated. Overreacting makes you a drama king. Underreacting shows you don't care. The right reaction depends on their emotions, the situation of the day, and unpredictable factors. Proactive expectations combined with mind reading are unfeasible. You need to plan everything, but it's best to align with what she wants, not just what she tells you. You need to take control of the situation, but only move in the direction of her secret desires. Guide, but follow intuitively. Some women expect compensation for their insecurities. You need to constantly reassure them, rebuild their confidence, and manage their anxiety. You become a full-time therapist, paying the price for providing free therapy. Comparing to exes is toxic. You need to be better than every ex in every way, but without resembling them at all. Existed. Some women expect you to prove your love in ways that feel like a transaction rather than a genuine connection. They want grand gestures and constant reassurances, but often fail to reciprocate. The pressure to meet these expectations can be overwhelming, leaving many feeling inadequate and insecure. In a world where social media highlights the best moments, the reality of relationships can feel like a constant comparison game. It's exhausting to navigate the complexities of love when the standards keep shifting and the stakes feel so high. It's over. Every day requires new proof, new postures, new displays. Past proof doesn't count. Yesterday's efforts are forgotten. It's like pouring water into a bottomless bucket. Endless effort without accumulated reward. Some women expect men to be entertainment directors. You need to constantly plan events, create experiences, and prevent boredom. You are not a partner. You are a cruise director, responsible for those who criticize every event but plan none. That's the bottom line. Expectations have become so unrealistic, so one-sided, so exhausting that men choose peace over partnership. They are calculating, realizing that being alone is cheaper economically, emotionally, and psychologically than meeting these impossible standards. Men are not saying relationships are bad. They are saying the current deal is bad. They are not avoiding women. They are avoiding those who see them as success objects rather than human beings. They are not afraid of commitment. They are afraid of committing to someone who only takes and doesn't understand gratitude. I want to hear your thoughts. What is the craziest expectation you've encountered in modern dating? What made you realize that giving was not worth it? When did you choose peace over chaos? Share your stories in the comments. Let's talk honestly about why so many men choose to leave. Because pretending everything is fine while men are exiting en masse doesn't help anyone.